we should do joy. I want that before my talk, so that'll be here. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. I didn't bring lyrics. They're going to go before and after my talk, right? I am remembering. And then there's a treatment, and then announcements, and then Jenny talks about the theme, and then she introduces me. And then we do a song, my talk, tender yes chant, and then there's the offering of the meeting seconds.
Yeah, joy and peace makes sense there. That's real good. Right?
Yes.
I can feel that.
Fire from heaven. We're doing fire from heaven. I'm doing all oldies.
Do you want to sing? Yep.
Doing nothing new. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I hear the house, but I don't hear this. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, that's better. I hear something now. Yeah, that's plenty. Oh, don't push it that much. Sounds It sounds good. I still hear as much house as monitor. Can I have more monitor? It's going to be too loud in the house if I have more monitor, right? I hear fine. So check 1 2. That's it's good. It's good. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Chorus. 3, 4.
Tasting.
Fire from heaven, my burning desire. Fire from heaven, taking me higher, though the path can be narrow, like the edge of a knife. That's great.
Good morning. We are fewer in number, but you're here, and that's the most important thing. Good morning. My name is Jane Langell, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. But before we go on, please ascertain that any electronic devices you have on your person are turned to the off mode. Thank you. A famous author and life coach, Anthony Robbins, usually tells his audience, he says, be where you are. And so the good news is you are here. And so why don't you turn to the people next to you and give them some good news from you, okay? Good morning. Okay. Welcome again, and let's welcome Melissa, who will lead us in the morning chant, and followed by Janet, who will lead us in the morning prayer.
Good morning. Today is Old Home Week for me. It's been a long time. So it just so happened that God wanted some of the same old songs today. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start with I Am Remembering Who I Am. So you know the deal. It's a 2-part round. And I trust you to turn it into one. We'll start together. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I
do remember the truth of our being, that we are one with the infinite life that we call God, universal love, sweet spirit. And this life flows and moves through each one of us uniquely, as we are a blessing to this world. And we call into our heart's memory in this moment those who have touched us and moved on, those who serve at the highest level in dedication to the principles of freedom. And we dedicate ourselves to freedom, being fully alive, the full realization of the divine within us, having its way through us. And so we prayerfully consider that one source that is moving through this very moment, right here, gifting us and blessing us with the beauty of this day, the love of our community, the wisdom that we tap into in conscious connection. And I know that every aspect of this day, this moment, this very heartbeat is blessed. For we are one in spirit, one was all good. And we bless others with our presence. And so we surrender to this good right here, right now, cooperating with it and allowing ourselves to receive, to be nourished, to be overflowing with inspiration and love this very moment, and the next, and the next. And so we let it be, and so it is. Blessed be. What a glorious day to be together. I'm so glad that you have made the choice to be here today. Reverend Carol is away on a sacred journey, visiting holy sites in France and in England with her merry band. And so we just wish her well and know that she will return next week with stories to tell and love to share. And let's see. We've already received a bit, just a sample of the gift of Melissa's music this morning. Pardon me, yes, I could use some water, Reverend Judith, thank you. I'm willing to receive. And I will introduce her a bit later, but I want you to know that we are in for a treat because she is gifting us with music and the inspirational message today. Bodhi, as you may know, our musical director, has been in Japan on a healing journey. And again, we'll welcome him back soon with many things to share. Thank you. I'm going to take a moment here. And our gratitude for today, I went around and I asked some people, is there some aspect of our community that perhaps has been silently serving and hasn't been acknowledged recently? And the word came back that our events team are the wonderful folks behind the scenes that are putting together events and workshops and speakers and opportunities for us to connect deeply with the rich treasures of our community. So let's offer gratitude to those who set up and put the flyers together and put the water on, bring water to the person at the podium. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we also want to bless our child of the day. I think Sam is holding the presents for all of the children today. And we say hello to you and bless you, and we're so glad you're here and glad your mommy brought you today. Today, after our service, speaking of events and workshops, Melissa will be sharing the path of Toltec wisdom. This is an opportunity to tap into the work of Don Miguel Ruiz from someone who has been an apprentice of his, a student of his, and is, what do you call it? Is it?
The title is a Toltec mentor personally trained by Don Miguel Ruiz,
there you
author
go.
of the Four Agreements.
Oh, I wanted to get that right, yes. So that is an opportunity. If you've heard of his work, read his books, here's an opportunity to tap into the tools for transformation that he represents and that teaching represents, that Melissa has studied and trained in. Other announcements. On June the 10th, we will have one of the stars of New Thought, one of the early bright lights who is still giving her gift, Terry Cole Whitaker. We're putting together an event jointly with Unity, and that's another wonderful opportunity to get ignited and inspired in this teaching. In your bulletin, you'll see other events that are coming up, so please definitely check out the full experience of the bulletin, the website, Facebook, Meetup. There's so many ways to get the information that is personally tailored to your path of transformation. There'll be a singles potluck on June the 10th at Reverend Brent's. Will you? At your house, yep. And I also want to share that it's come to our attention that one of our community members, Joe Hughes, has had a medical situation and went to the hospital today, and there is information on the heart-to-heart table. If you'd like to be in contact with her, there's a phone number and perhaps heart-to-heart if you want to get hooked up with a way to support her. Okay? And for those of you who are here for the first time, Catherine and perhaps others, welcome. We welcome you to this loving community and know that there is something today for you specially designed for a blessing and upliftment and inspiration. We're so glad that you chose to spend your day with us. I'd like to bring attention to this glorious altar done by Gilia Magdalena. Just drink in that beauty and magic. When I think of you, Gilia, that's one word that comes to mind. Beauty, two words, beauty and magic. And our word for today in the tools of transformation, you'll notice there's a tree over there. And the tree represents each Sunday of the year with a designated word and the opportunity to captivate that word of power with an affirmation and a practice. And our word for today is discernment. And I know that Melissa will be weaving that into her talk and her music as well. I invite you to go take a look at the tree and find the words and practices that speak to you. So discernment, having that clarity of vision to know what's yours to do and what is yours perhaps to let go of. And you know, if I've neglected or forgotten anything in the announcements, I know that you'll find your way to exactly what it is that you're looking for. So thank you for your attention. And now it is my distinct pleasure to welcome back one of our very, very own. When I came to this community, however many years, 15, 16 years ago, Melissa Felipe was our musical director. So how glorious that she has traveled her path of transformation. Since leaving us, she has gone on to really immerse herself in the Toltec wisdom, as I mentioned earlier. She is a ministerial student with the Holmes Institute, and she is a recognized speaker, musician, songwriter. I would imagine that just about everyone in this room has somewhere along the line been touched and moved by her music. I sure know I have. I remember my first Woman's Spirit and just weeping copiously from the heart-touching music that she shared. Don Miguel Ruiz said this about Melissa. Melissa's work is truly transformative, and she is an incredible teacher. Her music creates sacred space, and within that space, amazing things are possible. So today we have not only the gift of her music, but the gift of her message. And this young thing had birthday this week. Yes? Happy birthday.
I'm a few times young now.
You were so very young. And Melissa is joined in the musical offering by her partner Z Egloff at the keyboard. So please provide a warm-hearted, open-spirited welcome to our precious, beloved sister, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So as I said, God wanted all older songs today because I just check in and see what the songs are to be. And this is one. I wrote this song for a foundations class at Golden Gate with Marcia Sutton. Yeah, good beginning, good beginning. So sing along any part you want to. And if you don't know it, you can still sing along. I am one with God. I know the truth. I am one with creation and one with you. There is no separation between all that is. I am one. Joy and peace in my heart. Always I feel peace in my mind, God within revealed, joy and peace in my life. I am healed. Spirit dwells within me and guides all I do. It infuses my life, and with the light I am new. I am rich with abundance of all that is good. All is good. Joy and peace in my heart, always I feel. Joy and peace in my mind, God within revealed, joy and peace in my life. I am healed. From the core, I thank you, God, for teaching me this truth. And knowing it is so, I release it all to you. Yes, I do. Joy and peace in my heart, always I feel joy and peace in my mind, God within revealed, joy and peace in my life. I am healed. Joy and peace in my heart, always I feel joy and peace in my mind, God within revealed, joy and peace in my life. I am healed. Let's sing it one more time. Joy and peace in my heart, always I feel in my mind, always reveal joy and peace in my life. I am healed. I am Thank you. What a trip to be singing that song and look out and see all these people I love who I haven't seen in so long. It's so sweet. Don't believe anything I say. Okay? Promise? Don't believe anything I say. When I had worked with Miguel for years, and he started this special group. We felt very special. And it was a by invitation only group of people who apprenticed with him one weekend a month for many years, actually. And when we went to that first weekend, my ex David and I, some of you remember him, still my very best friend. David and I went, and the first thing Miguel said was, you need to make 3 agreements to do this training with me. And of course, all of us have, we've gone through, it's this whole, we had to fill out a questionnaire. It was a big deal to, get into this program, right? Or they made it seem like a big deal. And so we're thinking, anything, 3 agreements. We can make 3 agreements, no problem. He said, first of all, don't believe anything anybody out there has to say. Yeah. Now, see, I was thinking this morning about how I think that this Centers for Spiritual Living, is a magnet to rebels. Right? Because I don't think I'm the only one that when I heard don't believe anything they have to say, I'm like, well, I can agree with that. Because they don't know what they're talking about, whoever they are. So I'm like, we're good, don't believe. Yeah, no problem. I don't believe those people anyway. Then he said, and agreement number 2, don't believe anything I have to say. We're like, we just paid a lot of money to pretty much believe everything you have to say. So that's a little harder. And thank goodness we weren't signing on the dotted line that we were making this agreement, because I kind of went, okay, I can agree to that, Yeah. And then he said, and lastly, and most importantly, don't believe anything you say to yourself. So amazingly, we did not all get up and walk out of the room. He knew he was asking for the entire training that we did with him for the next decade in that 3 agreements. So there's this process we go through called domestication. So how many of you read the 4 agreements? Awesome. So were any of you kind of ruffled feathers a little when you read about domestication? I was like, and also the parasite, that one for me, I was like, that's a little harsh. That wasn't until I started listening to what that part of my mind was saying, and then I thought, parasite is not nearly harsh enough. Devil, maybe. So domestication is that process that all animals go through. That if we are not domesticated, we are not what we are. Now I always want to say, they take a elephant and have it trained by monkeys, but raised by monkeys, but I'm not sure they've done that, and I don't think the elephants would get in the trees, and the trees would stay standing. So I don't think that's a good example, but I always think it's funny that that's what comes to mind, elephants trained by monkeys. Because, when they've done these things, or they've actually happened in nature and they see it, what they see is that the animal not raised by its species acts like the species it was raised by. This makes sense, right? That's domestication. That process that all animals go through growing up watching. We just went and saw the movie. Z and I went and saw it for my birthday. We went and saw Chimpanzee. How many of you have seen that movie? Oh my God, you have to go see that movie. It is so sweet and so beautiful and so well done. And it's a true story about this chimpanzee. Okay, so anyway, it's not raised by another species, but I was thinking in there, it's the domestication. It's watching how to be a chimp. It doesn't know how to crack the nuts. It can't do it. It doesn't know how to do all the things that its mom does. That's why, they're trained for years and years and years, just like we were. And I thought that word was harsh until I realized if I had not been trained to be an American human, I wouldn't act like an American human. You go to other countries, especially if you're from California, I think, or New York, but you go to France, we're loud. Yes. We're so loud. We had been told before we went there that, they know Americans because they're loud, they're fat, but they're fat and loud, and they wear names of things across their chest. This is an American thing. The brand name or the college or the whatever it is, right? We label things. So I was very careful because I wanted to blend. So I was kind of chubby then, so I couldn't do anything about that. Besides which, in those days for me, going to France was all about finding the perfect chocolate. So I was heavy when I went, but I was heavier when I came back. It was fun, though. I don't eat like that anymore. But we went to this restaurant, and I'm trying to, blend, like me. Blending, that's me, yes. That's me. That's my middle name, Melissa Blending Felipe. Yeah, so I'm deciding, I'm going to blend. And so we go, and we're in this, out in the country outside of Paris, in this bed and breakfast, beautiful place, this old, everything's old there. So really, really old place. And we're having this special dinner. So it's dinner, which there, of course, takes 4 or 5 hours. And we're in this restaurant that's as big as probably this section of chairs. And people are talking like this, like all through dinner, which is fine if you're from France. Because, you've been raised your whole life to speak like that in public. But at one point, we started giggling. Because it was so quiet. Do these people ever speak louder than this? Like, how do you even talk to the waiter and not have an announcement being made for every single thing you're doing? Can you bring me some butter, please? So we got to, how when you're not supposed to laugh? Forget it. We were laughing so hard, we were almost like under the table. Because you start laughing, then you don't want people to see you laughing, so you start. Yeah. Because we're American, and both David and I were raised in America, and for me, in California, and plus I just am who I am. And I'm big and loud and recently proud of that. Thank you. But in France, I might tone it down again, So we are domesticated to be who we are. And here, I may be intense. I mean, there's no denying that. But not everybody's going to have the same reaction as if I'm in France and I'm the same me. People are going to have a very different reaction. That's domestication. That's what happens when you get to junior high and high school and you go, they don't eat dinner at 9 o'clock at night? I thought everybody ate dinner at 9 o'clock at night. Oh, your dad doesn't work? I thought everybody's dad worked. Oh, you don't have a mom? I thought everybody had a mom. We just think how our family is how families are. That's domestication. So that all happens from attention. We want attention. We crave. And we can make ourselves wrong for that, but that's just a human thing. We need love. We need to know we belong. So part of the domestication is we need to know we belong. So we're going to be like them. So if they're depressed, we're going to be depressed because we'll fit in with our family and know we belong there. They're confused. So this is where you get confusion when you have one father a certain way and a mother a certain way, and you're not sure which way to be. It's confusing. Which one is the way to be a human? I'm trying to figure it out here. Angry or passive aggressive? Both. We can just pick whichever one's convenient in the moment. Right? So that thus begins the confusion, and then we go on and see other humans and go, oh my God, wait, I could have been like that? Thank goodness I'm not, or oh, I wish I was, or whatever. Miguel talks about the original sin is that first moment when we thought, oh, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I need to be more or less because if I was, then they could love me the way I need to be loved. Because me not getting the love I need, the attention I need, the devotion, the caring that I need from my parents is because of me. This is just the human brain at that age. Not like we're stupid. It's actually not true, and it seems true to that age brain. So we're 12. They used to say 8, now they say 12. And I heard somebody recently say, oh no, it's 20-something. We can't conceive of that the world out there is not because of us, that we are not causing it. Of course, now we come back here. It's very full circle. I did cause it. I knew it. So it's that moment when we say, oh, this way that I am is not okay. Or my dad would come home from work earlier and play ball with my brother, and my mother wouldn't be so, pissed off at me for being who I am. Too loud, too much. We just talked about this with my mom yesterday, actually. The messages I got. Because, she was trying to make me into one of those people that would fit in France. So, that process is what the whole point of today is about for me, is questioning everything. Questioning everything. So there's this term I looked up at one time, decide. Actually, it was told to me that the word decide, it's from decidere, the Latin decidere. De is to undo, You decompose, that's a terrible example. That's when you've written a song and you tear it apart. That's decomposing. You decompress. Decompress is better than decompose. Anyway, not always a great example, but you know what I'm saying. And then ceder is to side. So when we decide, we actually cut off all the options we're not going with. So decider is we unchoose all of the other options. So in all those times when we've said, I'm going to be nicer to my father, my mother. I'm going to be more forgiving of my daughter for being the way she is. Whatever it is, we decide that, and then we find we're not doing it. That wasn't actually a decision. It was a, New Year's resolution or something. A decision is those times that we have all had at least one. As I look around the room, I'm seeing everyone here is old enough. We've done this at least once, where we said, that's it. I am done with that. And we were done with it. That's a decision. So my invitation to you and to me today is that we decide to doubt ourselves. Just doubt. When we question everything, when we don't believe, right? We're taught what to believe. So we believe in the domestication process. We believe that we aren't enough. We believe different things from different families. Loud is good, loud is bad. We believe things from our schooling, from our neighborhood, from the diversity or lack of diversity we're raised in. All of this creates beliefs. And we make up stuff. It's all made up. It's made up. We are interpreting a universe that is infinite, that is not even, we're not seeing all of what's happening. We're just making up stuff and saying what's happening with what we can see and sense. And there are people in this room, I know, who hear things that we don't hear. There's people in this room who see things that we don't see, et cetera, know things that those people. And we are all different in that way, and we're just making up what it means. And we started that when we were really little, interpreting what the universe was doing, including not showing up for us in the way that we needed. So I had this experience when I was making new agreements. So the whole thing with the 4 agreements, of course, now 5, is to make new agreements. And the whole point of it is to not believe the old agreements. The I'm not enough. I am not enough. That's an agreement. I'm going to not be enough. In order to keep the world rotating in its axis that it needs to rotate in. I need to be small even though I want to be big. Even though it's my nature to be big, I need to stay small or I will be shamed and not loved by my whoever. Or I need to be big. I've been doing this thing, Z and I have been exploring this beautiful work by this woman that's about dressing your truth. And it's part of why I've mentioned a couple times today that I'm bold and I'm learning to accept it, because that is my natural expression, fire. I am like that. And my upbringing was that's not okay. But she was talking about that she's the same as me, she's the same type, and she had that same message, and that her husband is the soft, internally focused, gentle, loving, kind, that kind of person, the water as she calls it, right? And that the message for a woman is you're supposed to be that, and the message for a man is you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to get things done. Oh, that is loud, I'm sorry. Is this thing mic'd or something? Wow. I got something done, yeah. I'm loud. I made it loud. Yeah, other people do it. That it's the get things done. It's that masculine macho thing. That's how you're supposed to be in the world. And if it's not your nature, and you're a soft, loving man like we have a magnet for at this place, we attract a lot of men who are softer, mushier, sweeter. They're not that we don't have any of those other kinds. We have all kinds. There's all kinds. But when we make ourselves wrong for being who we are, that's when there's trouble. When I said, I need to wear lace and little dainty crystals because I'm not soft enough. And I need to sing soft, pretty songs. Only, all the time. I actually never went all that far. But you get it? Like, then what's missing is me. I'm not in that. I'm not in that. That's not me. Not that I don't have all parts in me, because we all have all parts. But my dominant expression is this. It's what you see. And as I have gotten over the years more and more okay with that, maybe I'm actually okay, like, already. Maybe I don't have to wait until I fix this and that and the other thing. Not that I'm not always working on myself, because I'm always working on myself. I'm redoing my closet now. I'm always doing that work. But that doesn't mean that I'm not okay right now. So that has to start with my not believing that I'm not okay. Who you were this morning when you woke up is perfect. God did not make you so that you could be fixed and be better sometime later. You're exactly what the divine came to be as you. So the invitation is to not believe all the rest of it. All the rest of it. The beauty of this not believing thing is if you decide to doubt, this is the invitation for the day, decide to doubt everything. So this is the great thing about that. When we wake up in the morning and we say to ourselves, the sun is going to be up in the sky today, we're a little whacked, right? We don't do that. We don't need to tell ourselves what we believe. What we believe, we don't need to affirm. It just is. Miguel used to use that example all the time. The sun, the sun is going to rise tomorrow whether you believe it or not. And every once in a while, David and I would turn to each other and go, one of these days the sun's not going to rise. And then what's he going to use as an example? But I can still use that example so far. You don't have to believe that gravity is going to hold you onto the earth, for gravity to hold you onto the earth. So if you decide to not believe anything, nothing, what you are left with is just the truth. I'm going to say it again. if you decide to not believe anything you tell yourself, anything you tell yourself. Oh, I did that good. I did that bad. I need to do that different. I need to slow down. I need to do more. I need to be more productive. I have to make more money. I need to do it different. I need to be softer. I need to be gentler. I need to be stronger. Stop believing that, and what you're left with is, I am. And then you don't have to affirm, I'm enough, because it's the truth. It just is what is. I went through this process. I had this, so one of the processes that I learned in the years with Miguel is this thing called recapitulation. Recapitulation, if you recap, we're going to recap, it's to redo it. So recapitulation is a meditation. We're actually going to do it in today's workshop, where you go back into an experience where you look at the belief, like I have this belief that isn't making me happy. You go look at where that came from. When did you decide that was true? And we go back and look at what happened and see what really happened. And usually just by seeing, there's a whole thing with it, but just by seeing where you made it up, it's usually like, because we have an adult brain now, most of us, we can now see, oh, that actually makes sense for a little kid to interpret that, oh, this happened to me, mom didn't come when I cried and cried and cried, so she didn't love me. That's an assumption that a child could make. But actually what happened is mom was having a meltdown in the kitchen. She was having her own little breakdown, and it actually had nothing to do with me not being heard or seen. So we see these things. Often that's enough to change everything. But there's this whole process with it. I was doing one of those. I was in this place where I'd done all this work. I'd done all these years with Miguel, and I was in hell. For me, one of the things that still at that point led me there was money. If I had an issue with money, man, I went right to the you suck. You are such a loser. You will never get it together. I mean, I would hear these things in my head. And at this point, I know better, and I still feel so ashamed and small and worthless and awful, just scum of the earth, bad. And it was really hell. You know how it's worse when you know you don't have to do it? So I did a recapitulation. I actually said to David, I'll just be right back. I'll just be right back. She did never, ever come back. So I came back like an hour later, and I was in a state of shock. And I had come to the realization that I had interpreted everything of my childhood, all of my brother's here. I've never given this talk with, I've never given a talk, I don't think, with my brother in the room. So my mother is awesome. So I just want to say, my mother is awesome. I love my mother. She's really awesome. And I was a third kid. And my brother, God love him, his natural expression was all over the place. He was one of those kids that was just all over the place, intense and fast-moving and, hyper. And I was after him, right? So she was kind of busy. She did not have the attention to spend on me that she had, for instance, to spend with my mother. I always say my mom and I, we don't have the same mom. She didn't grow up with the mom that I have. She was an only child for years. So I had come to this conclusion as a child that I was not loved, at all. I didn't let it in. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And then I saw how untrue that was. Was this the way that it was being shown was not the way I needed. It was just not a match for me. And when I got that, my world fell apart. I remember talking to a friend at that time, right in the midst of that. My whole world crumbled because who I had been, everything I had ever said, everything I had ever thought, and everything I had ever done was an attempt to prove that it was okay that I had come. That maybe I actually deserved that love that I didn't get. And if I did it right, if I did enough, and then all of you loved me, then maybe I would have that understanding in me that it was okay that I was worthy, that it was okay that I was here. And when I saw that all of that was built on a lie, the lie that I wasn't enough. Because if you don't have to prove it, it's a truth. And if I don't believe, let me say that, I'm doing it backwards, I'm so dyslexic, I do. If I am needing to prove to you that I am worthy, that alone is evidence that I don't believe I'm worthy. Because what I believe, I don't try to prove. I don't try to prove that I'm feminine, I'm a woman. Maybe not very feminine, but I'm a woman. I don't try to prove that I am a woman. I don't try to prove that I'm a singer. I don't try to you know what I'm saying? But I needed to prove that I was worthy, that I was enough. And so what happened for me is that everything in my life had to change. I stopped singing. I stopped everything for a period of years. Because everything I started to do was like, oh, I just want to prove that I'm okay, and then you can love me. And I couldn't talk, actually, for about 2 weeks. So that was all from that decision to doubt. I decided to doubt that original wounding that I wasn't enough. That is my invitation to you. And your life will change, because what you're left with is the reality that you are way more than enough. There is one thing happening in this entire universe. It is grace divine, blessed allness. And you are that. You are that. How could that not be enough? How could that not be enough? No way. It just defies logic. It's just not true. It's not possible. You are enough. Right now. And you're here today because you were called to hear that today. It's not a mistake that you are here. So God invited you here today to be reminded. So God could remind you. You don't need to do anything. You're enough. Blessed be. Thank you. So to anchor this, when she said the word, I was like, what was that word? Oh, discernment. It's so great. What is the truth here? So that's a question to ask yourself. And one of the things that I love to do in this practice is to say yes to everything. To yes to even the lies in my head, because they are there to reveal to me the actual truth behind it. So I invite you to say a tender yes to everything that comes to you. And in the meantime, we'll sing it. And we sing it like this. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. You would sing that with me. The first words are, as I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me. My heart is open, I am free. My heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I surrender. I am peace. I am peace. As I say a tender yes to everything. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am free. I open to all that is. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I surrender. I am peace. I am peace. I surrender. I surrender. I am peace. I surrender. I surrender. I am peace. And so it is.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Z. So glad you're here today. So now is our time of conscious contribution, in which we get to circulate our good with the knowingness that our good is indeed infinite. And as we give, we open to receive greater than we might even imagine or anticipate. So as the ushers are in place to receive the gifts, I invite you to take your gift and maybe think of something that you've received already this day from the message and the music, and how your heart has been touched, and some inspiration that you've received. And imbue your gift to this community with that gratitude, with that feeling of grace. As we give, so we receive. It is an endless circuit, and we are always open to experience and express more. Thank you. Music for the offering.
It's another old standby, so please sing along to any part you want. Fire from heaven, my burning desire. From heaven, said I'm walking through the fire. Some people hear it, a small voice within. Others, they see it, and they know just where to begin. Me, well, I feel it like a fire down in my soul. And I follow the heat wave until I'm burning out of control. With the fire from heaven, my burning desire. Fire from heaven, taking me higher, though the path can be narrow like the edge of a knife. If I'm changing my thinking, then I'm changing my life. With narrow like the edge of a knife. If I'm changing my thinking, then I'm changing my life with the fire from heaven. So I'm walking through the fire, yeah. By the way, this is Z. Egloff. Who I did not believe I would have fallen in love with. But if you don't believe anything, you might learn all kinds of things about yourself. If you know what I mean. Yeah, fire from heaven, my burning desire. Fire from heaven, taking me higher, though the path can be narrow like the edge of a knife. If I'm changing my thinking, then I'm changing my life with the fire from heaven, my burning desire. Fire from heaven, taking me higher, though the path can be narrow like the edge of a knife. If I'm changing my thinking, then I'm changing my life. You know I'm changing my life with the fire from heaven. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm walking through the fire. Yes, I am. You know I'm walking through. I'm walking through the fire. Yeah.
Woo! Melissa,
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you to join me in blessing this offering and sharing some of that fire from heaven, as we know that this gift goes forth to bless, to prosper, to touch and uplift, because it is infused with this energy of love and inspiration and transformation. From the very heart of the divine within us, money moves and flows into the community, blesses and prospers and returns to us, multiplied, overflowing. And so it is. Let's obey. So, I now invite the practitioners to come forward, as in just a moment we will be turning inward again with all of this divine energy for our closing prayer. The practitioners here are in service to you. If there is anything heavy on your heart or something that you'd like affirmed and celebrated, please join them at the prayer table after service. And the rest of the practitioners that are present, please encircle the room with your love as we turn within for the closing prayer. Oh, how blessed we are to be in this very moment, reminded of the truth, returning to the memory of who we truly are, blessed by the music and the words and the prayers and the presence of each beloved member of our community, knowing that our community is the entire world, for we are one. And as we go forth into the day, into our week, we carry this fire of inspiration, dissolving old agreements and stepping into new agreements to be who we truly are and to share our gift and receive the gifts of others. And we also hold in our hearts the memories of those who have been with us and have moved on, knowing that in this great, glorious universe of energetic oneness, we are one. There is no separation. And so I accept for each one here a healing, a restoring, a renewing, a remembering. And we call it forth, we call it good, and know that it is good. And so we let it be. So it is. So I'm going to invite you to join us in an affirmation that Melissa has offered us today. And since we don't have our PowerPoint, we'll do it phrase by phrase. But before we do, I'm going to take this moment to offer our blessing hands to Melissa. And so just raise your hands as I speak, will infuse our loving energy wave after wave to Melissa, to anoint and bless this teacher, this musician, this beloved one who has dedicated her life to transformation, to healing, to being the light that she is, and not fearing the light, but bringing more of it forth. And I know that this blessing not only blesses those that she teaches and ministers to, but it is a blessing to her. And so we individually, uniquely, and collectively offer our blessings to Melissa. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for coming to this planet, and happy birthday. Yeah. All right, so here's our affirmation. You can just repeat after me. Today is the day, of the resurrection, of my true self. I am love. I am light. I am perfect. And now, please stand for our closing song. Come back next week. We'll welcome Reverend Carol home. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Go to Melissa's workshop this afternoon. Yes.
There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I did not know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know that the love of God was at hand. But now, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more, no more, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
the pain. I've been holding it for years.